This screencast is going to cover how to use Gale's Discovering Collection database. So a previous screencast showed you how to actually get to this page where we are now. So if you haven't seen that, then you need to go back and watch the database overview screencast. Once you get here, you're going to click the database you want from this list, and we would like to start with Discovering Collection. When you click it, it is going to require that you enter a password. So when it loads for this particular database, the password's very simple. It's just going to be Wildcat. And we enter. And this is a very helpful layout that you have to find whatever it is that you need. So you have a lot of varieties just from this basic search. So here is a list of popular topics. It's a great spot to go to if you were assigned a paper and you just have no idea what your topic should be and your teacher lets you pick. You can browse through this list. You can see we've got obesity, we've got marijuana, we've got Iraq, we've got hurricanes, abortion, and so if it has to be something like an argumentative essay, you can just go and click any one of these really and see what sort of an argument you could form on that. It's also got people, Steinbeck, Shakespeare. It's got works of literature like the Scarlet Letter and Romeo and Juliet, very popular works of literature, so you could just start right here if you needed to do a research project on pretty much any topic. If you have something very specific that you want, then you can search for it in here. So we'll try cancer. And you can search for words either just in the subject, which is sort of like this over here, or you can do a keyword search, or you can search the entire document. If you need documents with images, say if you're doing a project and you need images that you can pull out and put into your document and cite as well, I can limit to documents with images. In terms of content level, this is in large part you, whether you feel that you can read more advanced like medical studies or if you need more basic written material. I'm just going to leave it at none selected because I want to get everything. You can search just for primary sources. For reference, you can search for multimedia, which in terms of this database tends to just be audio files or creative works. And so we'll just leave that blank because I want everything. This is my first search. So I'm going to search for cancer. And it might take a second because this is a very broad topic. And these are all of my hits. Now if I look over here, I've got subject terms. So by scrolling down, maybe I want to write a paper about cancer survivors or cancer diagnosis. So you can narrow down very quickly without having to necessarily know all of your search terms because they show up over here when I put in cancer. Here are my actual hits for what I searched for. So you have a lot of choices in here. Firstly, this right here is super important. It tells me firstly where this article came from. So I know that that's probably going to be a pretty good source because it's from the Encyclopedia of Science. Something like this, sick with an exclamation point, I don't know about that. I might try to move on just by the nature of what that looks like. It doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't appear to be overly authoritative by nature of its brevity and also its punctuation. So you can sort through the sources that way. You also get the year, which is very important, particularly if your teacher has said you need something within the last 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, depending on what it is that you're searching for. So maybe 2003 in terms of cancer research is probably too long ago to have any sort of validity in today's society. Because I didn't search for my content level, I've got this lovely little bar up here that tells me what these little squares and circles over here mean. So basic is going to be your green circle. So if you don't read very well when it comes to very complex high-level text, then maybe you might just want to look for the green circles. The yellow squares are intermediate, and then I don't appear to have any on this page, but if there were a red triangle here, it would be for an advanced reader. When I find an article that I like, I am going to click full text. All right, let's do this one, full text. And here I get more choices. Firstly, this is the article itself. There it is. Down here, I've got further readings, which is fantastic because maybe this is a huge research project and I can use this as a sort of jumping off point to get more resources. My search term comes up highlighted in red, which is very handy in terms of scanning the article, because if I searched for cancer and this article sounded good, but I'm only seeing the word cancer once or twice in the entire thing, then maybe I need to consider something else. It also has a very handy listen option, so I can download it, but since I'm already in here, I can just hit listen and then play.
Carcinogen. Table of contents. Further readings.
And it will read literally the entire article to me so that I don't have to struggle through that myself if I find it difficult. If I click primary sources up here, it will take me back to my search list, but it will only bring up primary sources that showed up, so I can narrow it down even while I'm looking at another article. And multimedia is the same way, and it tells me that these are all photographs, that's an image, this is an audio file, so you can narrow down. All these are audio files, so I could click and then play that. Also, you get this full text option, which when I click, they have done a transcript of their audio file, so I don't necessarily even have to listen to it. Let's go back to reference. When I'm in this article, and this is my previous article, I get this option to translate as well if English is not your preferred language, and it will translate everything to me. And then if I scroll way down to the bottom, right here, I have a source citation. Whoops. I have a source citation. This source citation is in MLA format, so if your teacher requires APA, you are going to have to go out and find a citation generator to change this for you. But as of right now, this is a perfect citation with the exception of format, so you would copy paste it into your Word document for your Works Cited page and format it correctly with the double spacing and the line indents, and you would be all done with your citation on this, which is very, very handy. Other options that I might have, which are also located on this basic search, is you have subject guides and topic trees. So you've got all these topics here. Maybe I'm just in US history, and if I click that, I've got all these topic trees. So maybe my teacher has assigned me something from United States history from 1945 on. That's pretty broad. So if you click that, when it loads, you will see a variety of other subjects that would relate to that. Sometimes it takes a second when there's a whole lot of subjects that it has to sort through. So here are a huge variety, 500 total hits on American history from 1945 to the present. So this might be a time that I would need to work on refining my results. So if I click refine results, then I can be much more specific. I can say document type, I can say publication format, maybe I just want encyclopedias, maybe I want just the basic reading level, maybe I want just biography and genealogy, and then when I hit go, oh, I narrowed it down too much. Now I have 0 sources. So you sort of have to play around with your refine results until you get what it is that you want. Other choices that you do have here, let's go back to our basic search. We'll go back to cancer. And again, you have to be patient when it's a very broad topic like that. And let's say that I want to look at this article. Now that I have this article, I have the option to email it to myself. I can download it. I would suggest that no matter what, you do one of these two things because you don't want to lose your good research. There is an option to save it to a file within here, but I'm very hesitant to do that myself. I personally have lost a lot of research that way because there was a glitch in whatever database I was using system. So I would always suggest emailing it to your school account or downloading it and then saving it to your MacBook so that you never ever lose it. So there are a lot of other bells and whistles, dictionary, toolbox. You can look up your previous searches if you made a search and realized that that was really what you wanted. So you can go back and see how many hits there was. You can change that search to refine it. These are all sort of the bells and whistles, and there are a lot of them that we aren't going to specifically talk about. But on the surface, this is how Gale works. It is very, very functional and very intuitive and very user friendly for you.